Industrial Credit Union started the Feed the Need Community Food Drive 22 years ago because we feel hunger is unacceptable.
The individuals in our county that are using the food bank, they look like you. They look like me. I know that because we relied on the food bank to survive as a child growing up locally.
What we see here in the news department is a picture that's actually getting worse for hunger in Whatcom County. 1 in 5 people in Whatcom County now use a food bank. You do the math on that, about 30,000 people every month are using a food bank in Whatcom County. That's why we're urging you this week to help out and pitch in for the Feed the Need food drive.
I think one of the biggest surprises anyone may have when they start volunteering or working at a food bank is who they see at the food bank. You might expect to see someone who's looking a little disheveled, a little unkempt. That doesn't surprise people. What does surprise people is when they see their bank teller at the food bank, or the aide in their child's classroom, or the person who might be also driving the recycling truck around town. Regular working folks are using food banks more and more often here in Whatcom County.
We found that the food banks were in a great need of people to help them out. We also found that by helping people with something as basic as food, we were giving them an opportunity to grow, better themselves, and result in bettering our community.
25% of kids in Whatcom County are at risk of going hungry.
Over a third of the people that use food banks are children. That includes babies. More than 250 infants use the food banks every week.
Please give generously to the Feed the Need food drive. Let's make sure our kids aren't hungry.
As a business owner, it's important that we rally our troops, our employees, our friends, to get involved and donate to the food bank. As a community member, as you're walking around the grocery stores, I want you to think of the meal you're having tonight and think of all the families that may not have that opportunity. Give a little, give some cans, or give some cash. Anything you can do can help not only make sure that our families eat well this fall, but for the entire rest of the year.
One of the things that I really love about the Feed the Need food drive is it benefits all food banks in Whatcom County. If you can name a town in Whatcom County, it's probably got a food bank. We work together to make sure we get as much food as possible for our entire community, and the Feed the Need food drive shares every dollar and every pound of food that gets brought in during that week with all food banks in Whatcom County.
44% of the households that use the food bank have someone in that house who's working. We call them the working poor. This might be somebody you know, maybe somebody you work with, maybe even your neighbor.
We've done food drives in the past where my son would come over with his class from Roosevelt to the Barclay Hagen, and the stat that 35% of the people using the food bank are kids. Can't have kids in school trying to think about what they need to eat. Donate this week as much as you can.
One of the things that all Whatcom County food banks are doing today that's different than 10 years ago is we're putting as much of an emphasis as possible on fresh, nutritious, healthier food. So we still take all donations, but we put our energy into getting things like milk, eggs, fresh fruits, and fresh vegetables. We partner with local grocers and take those donated dollars and make sure that we're getting the healthiest food we can for the families that visit us.
They do more than just canned goods, that sort of thing, non-perishable food. They supply a lot of fresh food for people. So we'd appreciate it if you could help us out with a cash donation. They can really stretch those cash dollars a long way at the food bank. So we hope you'll help us out this week and donate generously to the Feed the Need food drive.
One of the best ways to help the food bank during the Feed the Need food drive is to donate money. We can take your donation and spread it further than you can, regardless of what store you shop at. We buy from places that only sell food to food banks, and we buy exactly what's missing from the donation stream.
Donate $1 or $2, because that $1 or $2 can get 10 times return based on the food bank's buying power.
We feed the need and do this community food drive to give everybody an opportunity to help.
It's the 2016 Community Food Drive.
Hi everybody, Doug and Mark here from KPUG, and normally we spend a lot of time screwing around, but this is serious. Hunger is unacceptable in 2016, and here's where you can help. You can bring food, you can bring cash. They can turn $1 into $10 worth of buying power. Help us feed the need with our Community Food Drive. Tell them Doug and Mark sent you.
Why does Industrial Credit Union feed the need? It's because we care. We're asking everybody to give a little bit of what they have, because together we can feed our community.